Hi, welcome to AFTV. I've got lead judges with me. We've just beaten Ipswich Town 4-0 here at Portman Road. I mean, firstly, happy Easter. Wasn't the most exciting game, but, you know, some cracking goals from some players.
Yeah, cracking. Easy Easter, as I say.
Easy Easter.
Don't egg it, Tissel. Please don't egg it.
I won't egg it on too much, but a good conservative performance. I mean, a 4-0 win. Was we always in control even before the red?
First 2 minutes, I said, this is a game, easy game. You could tell. You just knew that they were up for it. And you know, to be honest, Ipswich weren't really that for us today, and listen, perfect sort of game to come back to after Wednesday, really.
Did you expect a drop in form though, or drop in performance? Because I'll be honest, I came back into this game, I predicted 1-0. I thought there'd be a bit of hangover from the Real Madrid game, players probably enjoyed that, stayed up a bit late and all that. We thought, they might rest some players, but it didn't seem like they were off the pace at all today, Arsenal.
No, it wasn't, and I thought today, I think that Mikel maybe looked at a few solutions going into the Paris game. Mikel going into midfield. I'd love to see Miles Lewis-Skelly going into midfield at some stage there. Shinchenko. There's a couple of players. Whatever way you look at it, there's a place up for grabs. There's a place definitely up for grabs, and you've got to keep working hard. And I thought today was a good performance. Listen, I think the fans are on a high coming into the game, so why weren't the players? And I think that showed in the performance. Confidence must be high after you. It's not just how we played the performance in Bilbao, in the Bernabeu, but everything about the performance, everything, the result, and all that. And you come in now you should. If you can play like that on Wednesday, you can turn over teams like Ipswich on a weekend. And that's what happened. It was a good, solid performance. Defence again sound. Kivio brilliant again today. I thought he was fantastic. And Ray has not had a save.
It was you that said that one of your friends said it's only game time is lacking. If I'm honest, he's a quality defender.
Listen, my mate Dickie, I'll bring him up again. Good old Dickie.
What a name.
What a name, Dickie.
But yeah,
I don't know where he gets that name from. I don't know if his name's Richard or I don't know. But he was the one that pointed it out to me. He said the one thing that Kivio lacks is game time.
And do you believe that as well then, after what you've seen since he stepped in?
What you're seeing now is he's in. I think there's a couple of things here. I do think it is game time, but also playing in his natural position. I think he's been playing left back a few times. At the end of the day, when you're a back up to somebody like Gabriel, and Gabriel is a machine, you're not going to play many games. Unfortunately, Gabriel's gone down, and that's your opportunity to step up. And what he's done, he steps up, and now, comfortable as anything today. They weren't shaky at all. Him and Saliba have produced a good partnership there. And listen, at the end of the day, sometimes in life you get opportunities and you have to take them, and he's certainly taking them.
I think a lot of players have, actually, to be fair. The players that have stepped in have really taken those shirts there. Could we have went to another level? Say, Leo, are you happy with the fun? Does it feel like because I don't know, sometimes you see Arsenal, I think you mentioned, you said at 2-0 or half-time, thought it wouldn't go any further than that. Did it feel like Arsenal went to another level, or was it just cruise control?
Just cruise control today. Listen, I said it wouldn't surprise me if it stayed 2-0. Yeah. That's what I said. And that's not having a criticism, because at the end of the day, job done. Yeah. You just ease off, you got on to Wednesday. But, listen, I'm watching that game. I don't know if everybody else is. I'm watching it and thinking to myself, I don't want no injuries. Don't go in for that tackle there. You know what I mean? Be sensible. Don't go do anything silly.
The players can't be thinking, they've got to go 100% into everything, though, really. I know you look at you, look how you're smoking. You've got to be in football. If he pulls out of a challenge, you're the first one to go mad.
Yeah, game mad. I am. But not when you've got bigger games. The Real Madrid game. That's gone, by the way.
You've enjoyed that.
The PSG game now is the game. You know what I mean? So you just want to keep everybody ticking away, not get injuries. I'm pretty sure it's a natural thing. Is not to be silly, get injured and whatever, So I think that it's a massive game. But you've got one more game now before we go on to that. And then we've got a game in between. But listen, you've got to keep ticking over, keep the engine ticking away, and that's what we're doing at this moment in time. And today was a good performance. Isn't it nice to come here? I'm going to say, the nerves that I had before the game on Wednesday, I come here today relaxed. Really. And then when the team goes and performs like that in the first 10 minutes, I always say that with Arsenal, you know what sort of game you're going to get after 10 minutes. And today you knew that they was going to be on point, and they was. Was
it a red card? Was that a red card on Saka, or were we being a bit too, Arsenal, red tinted glasses, or was it definitely a red card for you?
I've only seen it once, but from where I've seen it, was definite red card. We knew exactly what he was doing. He'd done it to Trossard about 5 on the goal. Once
Oh,
he
yeah,
actually
yeah,
scored
yeah,
it,
yeah.
he left one on him.
Late, yeah.
Letting on. Listen, I'm not saying that he's gone out to deliberately hurt him, but what he's gone is just, I'll tell you what, you've got a big game coming up. I'm going to put it in, see if you fancy it. That was the sort of tackle that it was. And it was late. It was nasty. It was
Down
a
the
nasty
Achilles
tackle.
is a painful
Yeah,
one.
yeah, and it's I think was the right decision. Like and deserve what he got.
It didn't help. I saw the Ipswich fans clapping him off, and he was saying kind of thing. I don't know what you guys are clapping him off for.
Well, I said the first thing that happened is after a tackle like that, Saka will get booed by everybody, and they did. That's part of the beast.
Crazy though, because
Crazy.
it was a bad challenge.
It's a bad challenge, you know what I mean? And if it was the other way round, they'd be doing the same, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cassing him and all that, So, listen, at the end of the day, the Ipswich fans will look at it and they'll have their own assessment of it. But for me, it's a sending off, and it was a bit of a nasty one, if I'll be honest.
It definitely was. Let me kind of end. I want to ask you about Martin Odegaard, because today it felt, I don't know, it just felt like he's came back a little bit from what we've seen of old Odegaard. I've been looking for it for a while. Today he felt like he was conducting, maybe some might say he could have shot a little bit earlier, but he had a good game today.
Yeah, I thought he'd done okay today, and I said to the people around me, when they went down 10 minutes, this is his time to shine. And I just think that I had a real good watch of him today. I just think he's a little bit off the pace, and he's not as sharp, as quick as what he was. And I think that's causing him a few problems.
What's that down to then?
Yeah, maybe the injury, the illness, and things like that. And sometimes you just can't get into you just can't get into the back of the rhythm of what you're doing. But he looked a lot better today. Unlucky with the shot. That's my most frustrating thing with him. He gets himself into such positions to have shots, and then he goes back and turns in and all that, then when he didn't, he hit the post with it. But yeah, it was a much better game from him today. And listen, I think the player that's really impressing me at the moment now is Marino. I thought he was very, very good again today. Yeah. Very, very good today. In a different position, playing midfield today. Looks like that role when he's been playing up front is giving him the confidence to become a player now. And without being horrible to him, he feels like maybe he's accepted now. And part of the squad and part of what's going on. And sometimes you need that. I thought he was very, very good in there today. Big compliment to Trossard as well. Trossard, he just keeps performing.
Yeah.
He's had a couple of little dodgy games, but when he's pushing for a place in this team now, and today's performance, he certainly did that.
Would he be frustrated for coming off? He was on a hat trick. Do you think if you was a player there coming off, or do you understand that he came on, I believe for Butler Deji? Do you think that's sort of fair substitution, or would you be annoyed that why are you not leaving me on?
I think he'd be a little bit upset about it, especially when he didn't play him that much on Wednesday. Yeah. But listen, that's what happens. You rotate more on the front line than you do in the back line. That's just how it is. Even though we seem to rotate our fullbacks a little bit more That's another big plus today. Ben White, 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Big plus for us.
I think the fans like seeing him back as well.
Looked a lot sharper than what he did in the last couple of games. So, I think it's important that he gets another 90 minutes on Wednesday, so he is ready for whatever role he has to play or bit part or whatever. He's ready for that semi-final.
Yeah, I keep saying finally, but just Palace last one. I mean, do you think every performance is going to be like this kind of towards the end of the season, or is it going to be Palace going to be a bit more tricky?
I don't care, really. I really don't care.
That's not the answer. I mean,
what do you want me to say?
I don't know. Yeah, all right. So you don't care?
I know it's easy, but that is a stupid question, Cecil.
So you don't care if we win, lose, draw, or just...
I want to win. That's another stupid question. 2 stupid questions in a row.
Can I make it free? Can I make it
free?
See
if you can.
All right. Have you had a nice Easter?
That's 3 stupid questions. Of course I've had a nice Easter. I've had a lovely week. What a fantastic week. A fantastic 7 days. I'm going to have a nice Easter egg when I get home.